Okay, so SHTF has hit, and this was the big one. It's going to be a real, honest to God, long-term grid down situation, and there's no telling when things will get close to normal again. It could be years, it could be decades. Now's the time to think about getting out there and scavenging for various items that you may need or want for your own survival. Now's the time to consider what it is that the rest of the surviving population will be needing or wanting out of necessity or comfort. What are they after? What will they trade for? And what will they be looking for first? Today we'll be taking a look at some of the various items that many people may be after in the heat of the moment, once it all goes down. This may also give you some ideas of what you may want to stock up on now, because you may need it later, either for your own use or to trade with others. And hopefully you won't get caught up in a situation like this. Some of these things might seem obvious, and some of them you may not have thought of. Either way, hopefully this list will get some people inspired. We're going to take a look at some items in order of what will likely be looted by the masses first, or looted by the masses after they've looted all the useless stuff they won't be able to use. Typically in these situations, looters and rioters go for big ticket items because they're not thinking more than a day ahead. Now, I'm not condoning looting, but if you are right in the middle of the collapse and you absolutely have to hit the stores during the mayhem, it would serve you best to avoid certain areas, certain items even, during this crisis, because these are the places that will be hit first and hardest by people who just don't know any better. These are the true hotspots. Remember, it's a last resort tactic, but when the chips are down, it is what it is, and you have to look out for yourself and for your family. For this discussion, we'll be using a typical big box store like Walmart or Target or someplace similar as an example, and forming the discussion around patterns seen in the past during either disaster or civil unrest situations. So getting right down to it, the average looter is going to ransack 10 basic areas. So you avoid these areas as best you can. And again, this is a last resort situation for you preppers out there. I would hate to think that any of you needed or wanted to be in the mix when this sort of thing is going down. So without much further ado, let's go ahead and get started, looking at the areas attacked first and hardest by the brainless masses. Number 1, electronics. The electronics area is going to get hit fast and hard. TVs, DVDs, video games and consoles, computer equipment, any big ticket item from this area. Even if we are facing a total long-term grid down situation, the average person is still going to do this. It never occurs to them that if the power doesn't come back up, that none of that stuff will be working anyway. As a prepper in a total disaster situation, the only thing that should interest you in this department is handheld radios if the store has them. Number 2, sporting goods. If the store has a firearms department, it will get hit just as fast as the electronics. Firearms and ammo are big ticket items, and people will be after them for this very reason. Because of the demand, this will be a dangerous section to get caught up in. Avoid the firearms and ammo, no matter how tempting it may be. If you have to come to sporting goods, concentrate on camping supplies, which, historically speaking, is usually the last thing to go, since again, the average person isn't thinking more than a day ahead. Number 3, the jewelry counter. The jewelry counter will be wiped out so fast you won't believe it. Stay away from this part of the store completely. It's useless to you. Not only will the people there likely be fighting over the items tooth and nail, but the jewelry sold in these places is junk anyway. It's not even worth the effort. Number 4, frozen foods. In situations where looting is taking place, historically speaking, frozen foods gets hit before any other parts of the grocery department. Keep in mind that frozen pre-prepared meals are what most people eat on a regular basis anyways, so they don't know any better. Also keep in mind how fast that food will go bad without any power to operate refrigeration in a long-term grid down situation. Expect any area with beer, wine, and liquor to be hit pretty hard too. Stay away from there. Number 5, the refrigerated sections. Right after frozen foods, the next areas that normally get struck are dairy and meat in the refrigerated sections. Again, these are items that won't last the day out of refrigeration if there's no power to run refrigeration, unless it happens to be winter. This is another area that will have the highest concentration of people, so stay away from there too. Number 6, dry goods, or in other words, the rest of the grocery department. Most people will be in the cereal aisle, or canned goods. You know, canned vegetables, canned fruits. Again, this is the type of food most people are used to eating. They're not thinking long-term storage. If you must do this, go for bags of rice and beans, which are often still on the shelves after a store has been torn apart. Number 7, the pharmacy. This is another area that would be dangerous during a full-blown riot-style event. People know there's hard stuff behind the counter, even though they can't tell the difference between one type of medication and another in pharmaceutical generic containers. Over-the-counter medications would be just as hard hit. However, first aid supplies are typically left behind, as well as vitamins and supplements, which I would be much more interested in. Number 8, HBA, also known as the Health and Beauty Aids Department. First on the chopping block in this department will be the cosmetics section, followed by colognes, high-end hair care products, and then deodorants, believe it or not. What is often left behind are basic hygiene products, such as toothpaste, toothbrushes, soap, and so on. Basically, what's left behind is all the stuff that you would probably want if you were thinking long term. Number 9, household goods. Believe it or not, although the average masses may be crazy, when it comes to paper products, they're not that stupid. They will strip this department down. Don't expect to find toilet paper or paper towels, although napkins and paper plates are often left behind, and those could be very useful. Next on the list in this department will be detergents and fabric softeners, which you won't be able to find, but not basic cleaning supplies, and insect control products or dishwashing liquids. That will still be in plentiful supply. And then number 10, hardware. Obviously, tools are right out. The tools will be stripped away quickly. Smaller items like screws, nails, glue, gloves, and so on will probably still be available. And those items will be just as useful, and you may end up needing them. And you just knew I had one more for you, didn't you? Call it number 11 if you will, the automotive department. This is another area that will be cleaned out of any tools or gadgets, but you will likely still be able to obtain a lot of useful automotive fluids. In particular, I would target water removers or octane boosters for future use, with the idea in mind of revitalizing scavenged gasoline. And don't forget batteries while you're at it, particularly AA and AAA, preferably the rechargeable type. Again, this topic of discussion is a last resort type of discussion, and I don't expect for you to go out and get involved in the mayhem. Hopefully, as preppers, you have everything you need already. So I hope you found this video interesting. If you have any further points pertaining to the video, please do feel free to post them in the comment section down below. Please do give the video a thumbs up. Easiest way to show your appreciation. Share it if you can, and subscribe if you are new. Be sure to hit that bell icon so you can be alerted when new content comes out, and check out some of the other videos if you get the chance. If you would like to help this channel out, there are links for that down below. Every little bit helps, and I sure do appreciate it. I can also be found on another channel called Coffee Talk. Check it out if you get the chance. There is a link for that down below as well. So all that being said, as always, stay frosty, folks, and thanks for watching.